Greetings, everyone. Thanks for joining us today on our 9th episode of Ingest Quest. My name is Anthony Amato of Cardboard Fortress Games. I'll be playing Augustus Gloop, the Ooze Warlock. With us today, we also have Benjamin Scott of Puffin Forest. He's going to be playing the Bopey Druid, Nub Nub. We have Megan R. Miller, fiction author of The Chronicles of Drazul, 404 Killer, Not Found, and more available on Amazon. She's also a contributor to Nerdarchy.com. She'll be playing Sirkas, the Arachnoid Void Warlock. Nate the Nerdarch, our resident Nerditor, will be playing Five Hand Stan, the Manted Arcane Trickster. We also have Kenyatta, a streamer and contributor to Nerdarchy, and you can find him at twitch.tv/Kenyatta. He's going to be playing Fitzroy Brummelbaum, our human ranger and our brave leader. And our DM for today will be Doug Verhoevic. He's the Nerditor in Chief. I'm sorry, I messed that up. He'll guide us through the worlds of Endless Horizon on our Spelljammer ship through many a gastronomical adventure.
That's right. Thanks, Anthony. Like I said, I'm Nerder Doug from Nerdarchy for Nerds by Nerds, and we are playing 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons in a Gonzo Spelljammer-esque setting. So before we get started, I'll give you guys the house rules, and for our viewers too. All the characters start each session with inspiration. They can use their inspiration to give me disadvantage on any of my rolls as Dungeon Master, and we are using the alternate hit dice rules from Hit Dice to Heroics in the Nerdarchy store. And thanks, you guys and all the people watching, for joining us on Ingest Quest. If you're joining us for the first time, we took a week off last week, so to catch everyone up and move things along, I will recap and do a little bit of narrative hand-waving to fast forward a bit. On your latest culinary expedition, you traveled to the elemental plane of confection after foiling a plot to convert dark chocolate into white chocolate, which is gross and not real chocolate.
And we all agree.
Yeah.
Yes.
In the sugary dimension, you freed an enslaved hive of manted chocolate miners by defeating a marshmallow golem. Spokesmanted Ron agreed to show you a secret way into the fortress of Tur, the entity who ruled this plane. Nub Nub lost all his fur passing through an unusual obstacle before entering Tur's throne room, where he attempted to reason with the planar master, while the fire newt Gertz took a more aggressive approach and was turned into a sugar statue by Tur's gaze. You fought chocolate duplicates of yourselves, eventually consuming them. You guessed this disrupted a cosmic double boiler, and the Tur entity conceded after Fitzroy offered an umami-infused brownie to the despondent Tur, which seemed to really change their perspective. And Augustus convinced Tur to expand its flavor palette. In the afterwards, Tur asked Nub Nub to assist in a recipe by stirring the double boiler with his red stick. Was that something you would participated?
Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, doing so imparted the essence of the red stick into the mix. A strong scent of chocolate filled the air, along with a powerful scent of vanilla. Tur opened a portal back to the chocolate volcano, and motes of chocolate and vanilla swirl through it. The Manted colony was summoned and entered the portal. Manted Bruce and Steve hoist the sugar statue of Gertz and carry it through reverently. Stan, Ron lingers to explain to you how, as a collective, the hive had adapted to life as chocolate miners, but after hearing how Gertz broke his people's stringent tradition and ultimately sacrificed himself to bring about change, and seeing you as a strong, swole individual outside of your own hive, they are excited to explore their personal pursuits and enrich their culture. Back on the slopes of Tur and expanding rapidly outward in a wave, large orchids sprout from the ground on vibrant red stalks similar to Nub's red stick. The tabaxi you encounter in the jungle emerge and are drawn by the intense vanilla scent in the air. They met the fire newts positively, and slowly they begin to find common ground. Back at the Illrigger, the ship which takes you on your culinary expeditions, Captain Lorne was taken aback by the chittering multitude of the hive that accompanied you there. The hive elects to send Bruce with the ship, which will drop him off at Apathia's Haven, a resort built on the back of a Kindori, which is a colossal space whale, in Corinthium space, where the next destination on your itinerary lies. Bruce is going to try to find suitable transport for the hive, and Illrigger will swing by before leaving the sphere to pick him up. So we find you on your next destination on a swampy planetoid called Taru in the crystal sphere of Corinthium.
Hold up, Doug. We got it. So we got the chocolate island. We got the chocolate island, right? We just awakened vanilla there, is what I'm hearing?
Yes.
Okay, the Tabaxis support vanilla. The other ones support
Mhm.
chocolate. Who's going to come in with a strawberry so we make this a Neapolitan island?
I was thinking about it. Yeah, we could have chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry.
I
Ghost.
think strawberry Aarakocra sweeping in from above would be the final mix of
Perhaps.
it. Remember it.
Perhaps. That'd be a chapter in.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's fine. Was there anything particular that you guys would have wanted to do on Illrigger before stopping at Apathia's Haven and then on to Taru? It's probably about a week's journey.
I would probably just walk around basking in my gloriousness at breaking up the hive mind.
I make more sweaters.
So I stand super tall all the time, and everyone sees me scratch my carapace in a different way than the nervous quick scratch, but just like really like walking around. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
For my part, last I left off on my ship antics was that I was holed up in a room adjacent to the command room with the tall guy
with Lagdouche, yeah, your
Lagdouche
bunkmates.
And I was trying to slowly melt a hole through the wall so that I could get access to the control room in an emergency. So I'm going to continue to do that. I'm also very interested in what is happening with our young
Spelljammer
flying around the ship, possibly about to blow things up or melt our entire thing. Although I'm very aware of Sirkas's protective nature of this, so I will use my invisible flying ooze pet to spy on what is up with that as much as possible.
Sirkas, what would Arlosh be up? What would you and Arlosh be up to?
A lot of knitting, really. Like, honestly, I am making cookies and knitting for my child and hanging out in the, like, general area that I have decided to nest in.
Okay. Well, yeah, Arlosh seems to be, an attentive little friend. He just kind of floats nearby while you're knitting and, asks a lot of questions and things.
Yeah, the worst thing that's going on in this room are bedtime stories. I'm the last person you need to worry about right now.
Arachnid bedtime stories.
He can't really talk, so he can't relate very good information to me anyway.
I think it would be experimenting with all of the awesome chocolate and pop rocks, though I wouldn't say I left with like a sizable amount of anything. I just have enough ingredients to plate.
Oh yeah, you could have.
We for sure bundled up some pop rocks. We gotta make some
Absolutely.
For hand grenades later.
For hand grenade purposes.
I'm also extremely curious if Nub Nub is still unsettlingly nude.
His fur would have started to grow back in the week. He just kind of got like a 5 o'clock shadow sort of thing going on.
Oh, God. So still super unsettling. All right. Great. All right.
Maybe Sirkas has knitted various things for him to try.
Yes.
I'm still just wearing the sweater that she gave me.
Yes.
Okay.
And the cloak of the bat. You can always wrap your stuff up in that.
Like a little hat.
Yeah. For me, my character would be just doing his rounds, like as various animals, like, or it's like the ship's flying, and then I'm an albatross next to it, like flying along as the thing's going through.
Honestly, once your hair fell off, I wanted to find out that you had a bunch of questionable tattoos from a street.
Got drunk one night in the forest. It was a tribal thing.
I got in with some bad folks, I made some
love and kill on his face.
Oh man. All right. So so you guys dropped Bruce off at Apathia's Haven, which is kind of like a resort built on the back of a giant space whale that kind of orbits the interior of Corinthian space. He seemed a little taken aback. He's been with his people in another dimension, mining chocolate for God knows how long. But he seemed to really take it, and he kind of just disappeared into the crowd to go find suitable transport for his people. And Illrigger continues on and drops you off at Taru. Your producers here have arranged for you to visit the Downward View Fromagerie, where a very rare and exotic cheese is made. it's a soft cheese, often with a red paraffin rind. It's rich and delicate addition to any dining table. It's a very exotic taste and a secretive method of production. Not secretive, but it's just not well known. And it's a pretty expensive stuff. It's about 5 gold pieces for 1 block of this cheese. And so you find yourselves at the Downward View Fromagerie. It's a rustic kind of dairy facility. It's made of brick and got a lot of lichen on the walls because it's kind of in a swampy area. So you are at the front entrance to there, where you are greeted by Afanur Zorna, who is an elf woman, and she's got kind of like yellow and white robes on. And curiously, you notice she is blind, and as you look around, all the other people here are also blind. So she welcomes you to the Downward View Fromagerie.
So she's blind, and you said everyone else is blind. Is that like that's their race, or is it like, are they an alien species?
No. She said there's elves. You see humans. There's typical selection of humanoid sentient races.
Yeah, this is a little bit unsettling, considering we were at that place where someone was stealing their eyes, and so it's like, because everyone's blind, I'm like, I know, it's like my character's just like,
sure,
unsettling.
Didn't one of us get away with an extra eyeball?
What was that?
Sorry, Megan, go ahead.
Oh, I just said I'm not comfortable with this either.
Well, they seem. I mean, she's doesn't seem distraught by it. She welcomes you like, oh, greetings. She's tells you that she's happy to entertain guests. She's prepared a tour of the facility for you to check out if you'd like.
Making cheese by smell alone's got to be a really rough.
You can't just say that.
She smiles demurely. She's like, we have perfected our craft over many centuries here.
They're all of the people here working that appear to not have vision anymore. They all seem like they're well adjusted to their surroundings.
Yeah, there's people just going about, there's people carrying buckets of stuff and cleaning.
So there's probably not anybody unwilling here.
No,
I mean, if they all seem like they're getting along perfectly fine, you know what I mean?
Make an insight check.
Okay, insight check. I'd like to start my day with a 5, please.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you just see people going about their business. It's it's like a cheese production facility, so there's just people, and they all seem to have the similar robes. It's kind of like a monkish quality to it, not like kung fu monks. Like
I'm intrigued, but I'm not immediately concerned.
As much as I hate to be that boosted animal, I, the player, am really curious about this, so I would like to. Oh no, never mind. I rolled very poorly as well.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Zorna seems friendly with you. She gestures to follow her. She'll take you on a tour of the fromagerie if you like. Yeah, Stan.
5 Hand stand wants to test their blindness every once in a while, so he'll just stick an arm out and wave it, like when he would like sleight a hand, so only the person that he's doing it at would see it, and I want to see if anybody reacts.
It's a bunch of Stevie Wonders. They're trying to trick us.
Make a sleight of hand check.
That's like a 24.
You
25 actually.
So you're trying to, like, how subtle, like,
I think he kind of wants it to be like an insight check to see if it's like they react, like, are they deceiving him?
I'm trying to hide it from everybody else, but only show it to the person I'm trying to test. Like, basically startle them, or like claws right at your face or something like that without.
Oh, you mean like as you're walking by, you might go like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when you do that sort of thing, they react. I mean, they can, maybe hear the wind as your arm's moving, or just feel that. I mean, you can kind of feel like you can.
Oh yeah,
right,
yeah.
You guys.
Okay.
Yes, it's ass kicking time. Pulls out the stick. They're blind. Beat 'em up.
But nobody like reacts aggressively or anything like that.
Okay.
But if you just like were to wave in somebody's direction, they don't seem to know.
This is the part of the adventure where the parties beat the crap out of a bunch of blind cheesemakers.
No.
I really hope we don't go down that road. That sounds
no.
Every everything seems to be on the up and up. I mean,
So they do seem they seem that rather than reflexively react because they're seeing something, they're feeling the air move. They're like, oh, it's something in my way.
Right.
All right.
But if you're like waving from like 10, 15, 20 feet away, they don't seem to.
Okay. So I feel like I've tested them enough that I know their limits.
Sure.
Just as a comment to Fitzroy, I like sidle up real close to you. I'm like, Master, at first I thought that maybe the cheese smells so bad that it melted their eyes out, but I have to imagine that it would have melted their sense of smell as well. But I would still keep our nose or our eyes open and look out for dangerous cheeses.
This goes into only in D&D are you like, this guy's blind. He's up to something.
Well, I guess if one person was fighting, but everybody.
I know, I understand.
I suspect there might be some kind of weaponized super cheese around here.
All right.
There is a very, very distinct pungent scent, kind of. It's kind of like that. What's it? God, what's that really stinky cheese?
Limburger or something?
Limburger.
Yeah, something along those lines where it's just like, people like this. I mean, but it's like that ratcheted up.
Oh,
Like,
all
it's
right.
very distinct.
So heinous body odor / foot smell cheese.
Yeah, it smells like rotting vegetation a little bit.
All right, sticks coming out. No, I'm just
You wonder, why is this considered so delicate?
Nothing good smells that bad. You're all dead.
This is called owl cheese.
This is all evil.
It's actually called fromage de la mort.
So nice.
The cheese of death.
Nice.
But like I said, she's showing you around the facility. And just.
Megan, I thought he had mentioned a small black block of cheese earlier, and I was like, that sounds gross as hell. Now I think I did hear that.
No, it's a soft cheese with a red paraffin rind.
Okay.
But there's a production line where you see these blind monks processing curds. She shows you a large vat room where the cheese is cultured, and another where it's
only a few teeth in every block.
But the tour ends in a cool, humid room where the cheese is aged. You see a bunch of those blocks of cheese. Zorna produces a very fancy cheese trier from her robes and extracts a sample for everybody to try if you like. Monks bring in bottles of wine to complement the cheese sampling.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, our hostess has been perfectly charming. I'm gonna eat cheese and drink wine.
I start out with a little tiny cheese fork,
Mhm.
but then I switch to like little hands, like trying to be delicate, and then eventually I'm just kind of like, rah, 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 rah.
Now that I know when they'll react and when they won't react, I stow as much as I possibly can when they're at a certain radius away from me.
I definitely can't compete with the five-handed gentleman on stowing.
Make a perception check, Stan.
All right. I don't do so well. Oh, I rolled well, though. I was worried. That's not my best thing there. Perception.
Good. Somebody has to be able to see here.
19.
So you get the sense that they're aware that you're pocketing it, but they don't seem to mind. I mean, the room you're in is stacked with the stuff. Like there's shelves built into the wall with just like tons of these blocks of cheese.
So I noticed them noticing me.
Yeah,
I'm
like they might
how?
cock it,
No.
they might cock their head towards you. This is just no, and also there's people bringing you stuff, so it's like after a while they're like, okay, we just brought out a plate and it's all gone already.
So I did
But
not
they
go
don't seem to
unnoticed.
mind. No, but they don't seem to mind.
Oh, good.
I think I can live with it if this cheese is made of people, so I eat it like a normal person.
I mean,
Or spider, I wrap it up and like liquefy it. Not like a normal person at all. In fact,
yeah, you're far from normal. Yeah. Yeah, it is very powerful scent. It is, I've got a rich flavor. It's like nothing you've ever tasted before, unless you happen to be a connoisseur of exotic cheeses. I don't know, maybe Fitzroy is, or who knows.
My best friends are cheeses.
Especially the soft kinds. I would like everybody to make a
no blind
perception check.
people.
All right, perception. God help me, I am rolling terrible today. And
17.
20.
19. Oh, I'm sorry. No, 17.
All right.
Oh wow, my wisdom is terrible. 14.
Okay, how about Fitzroy? Would you get 5 or something?
An 8, an 8, not a 5.
Oh.
Well, you did horrible. How bad was it?
So Nub, Stan, and Augustus, you notice that on the tour and seeing in all these other rooms, there's no cows anywhere, or animals of any kind. You don't see any of the animals.
This should probably be concerning to a more right-minded individual.
I don't actually know what that. Okay, so now I'm going to turn to one of the tour people and say, "What is cheese actually made out of?" I do not know.
They smile, and Zorna's like, "Well, that is our specialty here. Cheese that what we make is made like with milk, like any other cheese. But she tells you it's a very special creature that they get it from, and she has arranged for you to take an excursion into the nearby swamp to try your hand at gathering milk."
Nice.
I'm in. I'm in.
Is this some kind of plant creature like milk?
I like the fact that she said try to gather some milk. It's like,
Oh, did it?
try your hand at
This
it.
doesn't sound easy.
I would very much like to be involved in the entire cheese making process. Well, I'm here. I may as well learn how to produce the same product as you, other than, of course, the trade secrets, which I respect your desire to keep secret. But we would be more than happy to go milk a creature.
He says like he isn't already very versed in being cheesy.
Actually, Zorna says, "Well, to be honest, it is not our production methods that are the secret, but the fortitude to milk this particular creature that gives the fromage de la mort its status."
Feel like I know where this is going, but I won't say anything. Stan.
Don't metagame, Anthony.
I'm trying to.
Your character doesn't know this.
I don't. Stan, let me. Augustus will come up to Stan. Let me explain some things about human food. I don't know what you eat, but basically, food, when it comes right down to it, is either made out of fat or bones. Bones being the more despicable of the elements, fat being the good stuff. So you, my friend, are clearly more bone focused than I am, but you know. A milk and a cheese kind of thing is mostly fat when it comes right down to it.
Like from a plant or a tree?
Yeah, whatever, as long as it's not bone-like.
So we are going after a plant creature type thing?
Yeah, or like a meat beast of some kind.
Oh, God. The meat beast. No, I want fried chicken.
Something made largely out of fats. Catch my drift.
Is it like the blood?
This blood will work. Yeah, you can make cheese out of blood.
Oh,
This sounds good. I'm
Like,
interested.
that's another sect of monks. The fromage de la claret. I don't know how to say blood in French.
all right.
These guys out in the swamp.
Sanguine something? I don't actually
Probably
know.
something like
I'm
that.
like guessing root words.
I
Yeah,
think it's sanguine.
Fromage de sanguineus.
that's another planet. That's another.
That's another campaign. We'll get to those eventually. Blood sausage is next time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, wow! I didn't even think of that.
No, I
Blood
didn't.
sausages in a vampire world.
Yeah.
There's all those new creepy creatures and Tome of Foes to plunder.
I'm so sorry, everyone.
But no, Zorna explains that the creatures, they don't keep them here because they're sort of wild creatures, and she's like, we have a guardian that tends their roaming grounds. She's like, I'll take you to visit that, and then we will head on to the grazing grounds.
Mhm.
So, is there anything you wanted to do before setting out into the swamp? I mean, there's no rush. It's pretty much at your leisure.
Before I am potentially ruined on my desire, did I enjoy the cheese? Is this really like a however many gold piece an ounce delicious cheese? Is it amazing?
Make a cooking utensil. No, you know what? Make a cooking make a cooking utensils check.
Oh, good.
So it doesn't make any sense to me.
because he knows
How much
about food.
experience you have with cooking, I guess.
Yeah.
No,
Let's read the Avatar's guide, man.
It's just so weird that it's defined by its tool. That's just so strange to me.
Well, because it's like a carpenter could assess like
Yeah.
the structure of a house.
yeah, what is
and
he
I would
bringing a
guess-
cheese measuring device out?
Well, sometimes when I get a plate of food, like if I get a plate of food and a chef has prepared this, not his sous chef or someone else, I will overanalyze it and I'll be like, well, what were his knife skills like? Like, how did this guy do here? Where did he decide to put my sauce? Like, so I could definitely see like tools coming into play for cheese and being like, how was this aged?
Go read the Avatar's guide, Anthony. It shows all about the tool uses, and levers and all that. Do
17.
you have 17? Does
17.
Nub have any tool proficiencies? I got it.
I don't think so. No.
He has proficiency in eating.
Yeah, he's awesome at that.
A double proficiency bonus. No, I'm just kidding.
I was 17. Your palate is developed enough where it's like, it is definitely a unique flavor. You can see why, a lot of people probably wouldn't like it, but it does have like that hint of like some exquisite quality.
I will consume a good amount of this cheese before learning where it comes from,
Sure.
just because I want to enjoy it while I still have it, and maybe I'm gonna, instead of like pocketing some, I'm going to. Would it be possible if I could take a small sample of this with me?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You could buy a pound block of it if you mind. For 5
How
gold
much?
pieces.
5 gold. That is probably the most money I've, because I keep handing everyone piles of copper. That's probably the most money I've spent.
Yeah, we gotta have an episode where you guys can blow some of that treasure you got.
All right. Well, I'm gonna pay for some
Sure.
and offer a tip, because I feel really guilty about the quantity of cheese which was consumed by Augustus, and everyone ate a lot of cheese and some people just stole a lot of cheese. So maybe I'll pay like 10 gold.
Okay.
Yeah.
They appreciate it. Yeah.
But
So
did you buy them
raise
more?
your
Did you buy the cheese to more?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
raise your hand if you're lactose intolerant and ate the cheese anyway.
I'm lactose intolerant. That's the best fantasy I can have in D&D, is to get to eat cheese.
That's
Come
what
on.
D&D's all about, man. Indulging those fantasies.
The future me ate that cheese. All right, so I didn't steal it. I ate it in the future.
Augustus is
Wow.
bone intolerant only. He tolerates all else.
Perspective.
All right.
So yeah, and as you kind of meander around the facility and stuff like that, people seem very diligent. They're just working constantly, but they also seem to. You see people just sitting on benches, relaxing. It's not like they're toiling away.
They said it's in a swamp, right? The grazing grounds.
Yeah.
Do we need a boat?
No, it's just like a swampy area. Like there's pathways and stuff like that.
Like a moor?
It's like Dagobah.
Now I'm expecting mushrooms.
Dagobah.
There are fungal growths on trees and things like that. But so when you're ready, Zorna will guide you through there. She's with her is her guardian, a larger monk. He's also blind. His name is Endost, and he's a furbolg. So he's probably about 8 feet tall. He's just kind of like a softly furred guy wearing those same robes, except he's carrying a flail with him. And she will lead you on pathways into the swamp. So there's kind of like hardened pathways where it's not overflown with water and all that stuff like that. So how are you proceeding? Just kind of following along them? As it go? It's probably like 45-minute walk through the swamp and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, at that point I'm just totally chilling out and walking along
Sure.
and looking at all the scenery.
It's
I
humid.
suspect nothing.
Oh man, you guys are swinging from tree to tree with your webs. Tarzan it up.
It's terrible. Hey, why would you do that?
Brachiate, is that what that's called?
Brachiation.
Yeah.
It's movement.
You Augustus, everything you suggest is bad.
Nothing bad'll happen.
So yeah, it's overgrown and stuff. There's a little bit of sunlight filtering through the trees and so forth. And I'd like everybody to make a perception check.
Oh, sorry. Before I roll this, the one thing
Sure.
I do want to do is keep Moisty underwater since he has a swim speed.
Okay.
So he's going to be keeping as good an eye as he can on our feet since we can't see them.
Okay, so have him make a perception check with advantage as he's kind of swimming along in the water to the either side of the path.
I got a 23.
Nice.
I rolled a
18.
19, so I got an 18.
I rolled a 20 and he got a 19.
And what'd you get, Nub?
18.
Wow.
Yeah,
So-
all our papers are wide open.
I got a 9, so I'm not.
So it is not mechanically surprising, but it is dramatically surprising when a giant, like you just see a big set of eyes poking out of the water, and below the water, Moisty sees the body, giant scaled body of a crocodile, which roars and just comes up out of the water right nearby on the path ahead.
I don't think we can milk that.
No, Zorna's like
You never know till you
gasps,
try.
gasps and stumbles back into Endast's arms, who kind of puts her behind him, and let's roll initiative. As this
Okay.
giant crocodile, a huge beast, clambers up
Avocado.
onto the. And you gotta be my. I should hit you up and make a writer's room, Anthony.
Some funny monsters.
Yeah.
All right.
My character is stunned by his pun and goes at a
Oh,
Classic Augustus.
I got a 7.
4.
Wow.
Oh, I thought I was going to be low.
21.
Go.
28.
Bet you wish you're up the trees now.
Make you waste my 20.
Dan's got this.
Yep, I've got it.
Dive in his throat, stab him from the inside.
So yeah, Stan, you are up first as a giant crocodile clambers up onto the path ahead of you, roaring in your direction. It appears very aggressive. Zorna is kind of like taken aback.
Okay,
Surprise.
I'm guessing order. I'm probably towards the front.
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, you guys are probably just, it's probably like a 10-foot wide path, so you're kind of just like,
Okay. Can I climb a tree?
you can make an athletics check to climb a tree, sure.
I'm
I
terrible
need
at that.
to run.
I'm terrible at that, but I'll give it a go. A 10.
It's very like mossy and lichen covered. You're having a tough time like scrambling up the side of a tree.
Okay. Well, I'll just throw something at it to get it kind of distracted to the side.
Okay.
I'll huck one of my throwaway daggers.
Armor class is 14.
Oh, that doesn't hit.
So yeah, you chuck one of your throwaway daggers and it just kind of bounces off its scaly snout, kind of whips its head to the side. And next up we have Nub.
All right. What I'm going to do is I have my stick and I'm going to run up to it. I'm just going to be staring it down,
Okay.
like with my stick, holding it out. And if the thing gets close to me or like makes an attack, I go, "Pop!"
Okay. So you're holding your action to attack it with your stick. All right, gotcha.
I'm like 5 feet away from it, or
Sure.
like, yeah, or sorry, 10 feet. Yeah.
Sure. Well, it is up next and it definitely advances on you, so you can make your attack with your stick.
Okay. That is a 23
That hits.
for 5 points of damage.
All right. So yeah, you whack it in the snout, and it just kind of like almost appears like surprised that you would even hit it, and it looks a little hurt, and it's going to attack at you.
Stare
with it.
down. I'm staring it down.
So it's actually going to bite at you.
Ooh.
That's a 23 to
That's
hit.
a hit.
Oh
It's
man,
a giant
so many,
crocodile.
so many years of 3-5. I'm like, giant alligator. Okay, so it bites you, spins, swallows you whole, and dives underwater. You're dead.
It does do 14 points of piercing damage, and you are grappled. In its You're restrained, and it can't bite another target. And then with you, it's going to use its other attack to attack with its tail. It's multi. And it will. Let's see, who else would be up front? I think it's going to attack at Endast because he was up front protecting Zorna. And that is definitely going to hit him. Ooh. And he is knocked to the ground. So yeah, it bites Nub and just roars with it in its teeth, and then just turns around with its tail and whacks Endast, knocking him to the ground. Next up, it's Fitzroy.
Okay, this thing has Nub in its mouth.
Yes.
That is so not okay. We're going to super energy gambit dagger.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Go for it, man. I think you have 2 attacks now, don't you?
Do I? Oh, good. uh, yes.
2 chances to roll a 5.
Yeah, I know. Listen here, pal. My first is a 15.
That hits.
My second is an 11.
That misses. 14 is armor class.
Okay. We're gonna do 6 points of damage.
All right. So yeah, you chuck a planar infused blade in, and it sinks into its scaly hide.
Kitchen knife.
Yes. All right. Endust is gonna go. He's gonna get up. Use his rest of his movement to move up on this creature, and he is gonna swing his flail. If I can find it here. There we go. And he hits.
Yay!
Doesn't look like it does a whole lot, but he does swing at it. Oop. Where'd all my windows go?
They're gone forever.
Oh, it minimized the zoom in. I'm like, where the heck is it? Next up, we have Augustus.
He's still Nub Nub still in his mouth.
Yep, he is restrained. He's grappled and restrained in the creature.
This looks like a problem for Black Butter Blast.
Black Butter Blast.
So I'm gonna blast the inside of this thing's mouth and Nub Nub with grease.
Oh, okay.
Get out of there, you.
I'll have that affect his escape DC. So yeah, its mouth is immediately filled with black butter. Is that what you said?
Yeah, black and butter. Let's see, my the guys make dex saves or fall prone.
Okay.
And then it probably helps with grappling in some way, right? Makes it harder, I hope.
He got a 6. So as it pours out of its mouth and down by its feet, it's kind of like its little scaly clawed feet. It's
Rolling around.
And,
All right, then Moisty's gonna try to hit him with a scare. Break his eyes.
What is that? A wisdom save?
Yes.
Boo!
Not scared of Moisty.
Easy 10. He's not scared of a little tiny
He,
dog.
he can only scare marshmallow gowns.
I know. Ooh.
So it is prone. Is there you want to move or anything like that?
I take cover behind Fitzroy.
I can picture that. Circass, it is your turn.
Oh, you're muted.
You're
I was
muted.
So, I'm thinking Whispers of the Void to start
Okay.
things off. If this thing can even hear me, I'm not really entirely sure about how well reptiles, amphibians, and crocodiles can hear.
Reptiles.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm thinking.
All creatures can hear the void when you speak it, Circass.
I like that. I'm thinking a witch
failed.
bolt
Sure.
is probably a good idea.
All right.
And
A sustained blast of electricity.
then.
Nub, you're insulated by the butter coating you right now.
Oh, that's right. That was almost very bad. I apologize. I didn't even think about that.
It's a protective coating on your bristly fur.
Could you cast that spell on Nate, please?
Dan is gonna get eaten before this campaign. All right, so witch bolt. That's a to hit roll.
Yes.
14 is the AC to beat.
Oh, I definitely hit that much.
All right.
And then, is the gator in the water?
No, it had like clambered up onto the path.
Okay, in that case,
He's belly up right
perhaps it
now.
would not
Yes,
be
he is prone
like-
on the ground.
Perhaps it would not be the worst idea for Arlush to gravity well. That's a DC 11 dexterity saving throw.
Okay, how much damage did the witch bolt do?
Oh, right, damage, that's important. 10.
10. Okay, so that electrifies him. And what was the DC on Arlosh's thing?
11.
It made that. So it is still prone and kind of like, while flailing around in the black butter covering the pathway. And we are back up to the top with 5 hand stand.
All right.
Witch bolt's the one that just stays on him, right? It's, right. It's like a sustained thing.
Yeah, you just keep
Yeah. Okay.
going.
I will attack it.
Sure.
17 or something, so I hit.
Yeah, that hits. And
Or
would Nub
something.
being in its mouth count as having an ally within 5 feet? I guess technically. Right.
Divine ally.
It is concentrating on chewing right now.
Well, I mean, I guess it's not like Nub is just gonna be, docile there, so it is threatening.
Yeah,
so.
he is a threat. I mean, he could attack at any moment.
Mm-hmm. So you can have your sneak attack.
All right, great. That'll be for 12.
All right. What do you do? Do you have a hand crossbow, or are you throwing stuff at it?
I'm throwing daggers at it.
Okay. So that one buries itself deep in its hide.
Daggers,
Nub,
ancestor fingers,
Nub, it is your turn. You can
Okay.
try to escape. You
so-
can have advantage since you're buttered up.
So Bopi have a natural defense in this kind of situation. So I look over to the crocodile and I go, "What? Twee?" And I kind of dog on it. And I'm gonna do animal friendship, so it
Okay.
has to be a wisdom save.
Oh,
You got a natural 1. It's eating out of your hand.
Right. So I just kind of like, so it can't damage me. Can I just kind of like get out of there, like?
Yeah. Yeah, you can just kind of extract yourself from its claws, sure, or from its jaws.
Alligators like carry their young in their mouth, so I just imagine him like doing an impression of an alligator really fast, and it gets real confused for a second.
Do alligators? They carry them in the
yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe-
So that's my turn.
The noise they make, the little, maybe that's nub going. Just
You
like-
awaken its maternal instincts, and it gives a deep rumble.
Yeah, does animal friendship do anything else special like that?
So it just means that it's charmed, so it doesn't want.
It's charmed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now that's long with Witch
So
Bolt.
it can kill anyone else, but just not me.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Well, it is its turn, and it kind of looks at you with its big reptile eye, almost as if with like you said, like a kind of a motherly look in its eye, and then it looks over at this beam of electricity connected to that's hurting it, possibly its new friend, and it will use its movement to get up. What's their move on that? Not very far, so it's gonna start moving towards Circass. It doesn't make it all the way there, but yeah, it just kind of like lumbers forward, sort of pushing past you got the other people in its way. And if Fitzroy, it is your turn.
We
Didn't get very far too because they had to get up in the butter and make it over terrain. It probably only made it like 10 feet
Our
forward.
fights are the weirdest thing. We're gonna throw more knives at it. More knives.
Yeah, go for it, man.
12.
Man, it misses. AC is
19.
14. That hits.
All right. Hey. Holy cow. 13 damage.
Woo!
Doing good. Doing good.
That may have been your biggest hit yet.
I know. That was a good roll.
All right.
Okay, so once it gets hurt, it says that it ends the charm effect. So now it is not charmed by me.
Oh, really?
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure that's the way that works.
Yeah, it's like you just convince it, and then the second someone hurts, it's like, oh.
Oh yeah, I want to kill all of you.
Yeah.
All right. Well then, Endast will hit
Sorry.
its backside.
At least you're not in its mouth anymore.
Yeah.
Silver
You
lining.
made him waste a spell slot, man. So we're back to Augustus. Endast just whacked it with its flail, and it has sort of advanced a little bit. It's still got butter running down its out of its jaws and on the ground all around it.
Geez, Rick, I don't know what to do. I'm gonna dive behind a tree and blast it with Eldritch Blast.
Okay.
Hopefully no one's near it. Yeah. That's gonna hit.
Okay.
Damage dice.
Do you get two beams now? Your 5th level?
Do you?
I don't know. I think you do.
Do you? That's awesome. Can I just do it?
I don't know. I didn't know
I'll
that.
look it up.
Everything I have to like take invocations to do anything, so I figured.
Let's see. No, at
Three
fifth
damage,
level,
beam.
spell creates more than one beam. Two beams at 5th level, yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Wow.
Or blabs.
The first one did 3. It definitely hit with the second one. That's going to deal 9.
All right, it's looking extremely battered, and
I gave him both nostrils.
yeah, it's got 2 big black goopy tire-like things plugging up its nostrils
I
now.
cheese it and run. Also, Moisty's going to try to land on its eyeball and give it a sting.
Sure.
I roll a
Go
4 on that. Not even going to look it up.
All right.
Okay, Circas, you are up. Your Witch Bolt is currently electrifying the thing.
Okay, so first of all, ooh, Witch Bolt, 12. But also, Arlosh rolled a 6 and got his gravity well back, so let's try that again.
Okay.
DC 11.
I rolled a natural 1, so the thing's just pulled down to the ground by a powerful gravitic force.
That would be restrained, and that is turn for me.
All right, Stan, you're up. This thing is restrained, heavily damaged, just covered in butter, and
Finish him.
on the path before you.
All right. I will leap onto it and stab it with my grandfather's arms.
Now we're talking. This fight couldn't have happened without somebody jumping on top of this thing.
18. So
That hits.
and that will be 14.
All right, the crocodile looks over at Nubdub, and you see crocodile tear come down its eye as the life leaves it.
I failed my wisdom save against its charm effect.
Oh
No, a
God.
crocodile creature, a crocodile race or a creature that had an attack that was crocodile tears that charmed you for it. That'd be hilarious.
Someone clip that, please.
I think we'll have to send that into the RPGN.
Yeah, that's amazing. Guys are killing me today. I'm gonna start crying.
You've been
Yeah.
charmed by crocodile tears.
Woo!
So this huge beast's body is there. Zorna and Endost appear like dismayed almost. They're like, they're aware that there's wildlife in the swamps, but to have it just like attack like that seems very unusual.
So do we milk it now?
She's like, no. She's like, the grazing lands are beyond the heart of the swamp. She's like, there must be something wrong there to these creatures. This creature seemed much more aggressive, and she kind of like looks around and closes her eyes and like, well, yeah, I guess she would still close her eyes and like put her hand out and sort of kind of like shudders. So she's like, something is wrong in the heart of the swamp. And she and Endost proceed on.
How can you tell?
She said, my child, I have spent centuries in the swamp communing with nature. She's like, I can have a sense of these things.
I'm gonna do like a whistle and then like do my talk with animals and kind of like ask around some of the birds and any of the animals in the area and see if there's anything.
I think she's got little root tendrils that go into the ground underneath the water, and
She's a plant.
that's an evil plant.
Nubnub, make a persuasion check with advantage because you're.
Okay, that is going to be an 11.
Okay, so a little lizard similar to the one from whatever
Tour.
the Armenia,
Mania.
except he's green instead of red. He kind of crawls. He's on a tree limb nearby. And what is it that you ask him?
I'm asking him, have you noticed anything strange about the forest? Is it different? Any predators about?
He's like, yeah. He's like, the last couple weeks, everything's been really aggressive. He's like, he tells you that like, he's like, usually the heart of the guardian of the swamp keeps everything in check, but I don't know, something's been in the air recently.
Okay, and it's I think what lizards eat is like maybe some like insects or something. I grab some of them and I put them up for him to give him
He's
some
like,
food.
thanks, boss. And he like kind of crawls onto your hand and just like eating. He's literally eating out of your hand.
Okay, gotcha. And then once he's done eating, I just kind of like put him back on there.
All right.
Like, stay safe.
And you just see another lizard come up, and they're kind of talking. And he's like, "Hey, who was that guy?" And he's like, "I don't know. He's just some friendly, stubbly guy. Came by, gave us some insects. I don't know what was up."
Fitzroy, sir, maybe we should get some of our insectoid servitors to come out here and collect this alligator. It seems like a waste. That seems like could be a dish of some kind, right? Like jerky or nothing else.
Servitors is not a
Would you
term
prefer
I'm comfortable with.
slaves or-
Really, the best part of the gate is the tail. Let's just take a nice piece of that with us. We can carry it with ourselves here.
Fair enough.
I do talk to the rest of the group and I explain to them how it's strange. Apparently something has happened to the guardian of the forest, and that's why it's causing all these peculiar things.
Okay.
What is the guardian?
Zorna and Endos appear to be rushing off down the path. If you want to follow them and
Yep, we follow.
ask about it.
Oh, shit.
Hastily.
They're sort of rushing, making haste, and she's explaining along the way. She's like, "It is a guardian that our order had set there long ago to sort of keep control the herd, basically, like control the population of the herd that they, milk for the
Milk.
cheese that they make. But it kind of is like grown into the land, and it sort of is a guardian of the swamp. But its primary duty is to like control the population of the herd. So as you're hearing along, she says something is definitely wrong, though. There's sort of like, as you're rushing along, you see like beasts of the swamp sort of like on the periphery, sort of watching you. And it's not too long before you get deep within the swamp, and the trees grow much closer together. The branches above and roots kind of sticking out of the water and form a dense canopy that blocks out a lot of the sunlight in the sky above. And footing here is pretty difficult, as there's like twisted roots all over the place. And the grove is gloomy. It's kind of fetid in here, and you get a strong sense of being watched. And at the center of this grove is a huge gnarled tree, and there's kind of like a hollow in the tree where you see like motes of light, two of them just kind of like bobbing around in a darkened hollow in the tree's trunk.
What are our guides doing? We're deeper in.
Sure.
There's very little like light coming in. It's super sketchy. Everything looks aggressive. Are they like whipping out weapons or like?
They appear to be looking to like kind of like moving their heads around, and they have like their brows are furrowed and concerned. And Zorna actually begins walking forward to approach this tree.
Okay, I'm gonna move up with her.
Sure. Make a perception check, Fitzroy.
18.5. That's another 23. Killing it.
So yeah, as you're kind of like following not too far behind her, you hear her say very quietly, "Calm yourself, my love." And as she walks up to this tree, you see the motes in the tree actually flash brightly. And Endos is kind of like gripping his flail tightly too. He looks a little concerned. And what's everybody else doing?
I'm thinking.
Sure.
I'll be up with Fitzroy.
Okay.
Just off to the side, though.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm just kind of up with them, just watching them.
Okay.
I guess I could send Moisty to go get a closer look
All right.
since he flies.
I speed knit a lasso.
And it's disposable.
Okay, so you see Zorna kind of like kneel down in front of this tree, and she's like muttering under her breath, and she's taking little implements out of her robe and like a pouch on the side, like little kind of like totemic things made out of twigs and things, and like arranging them on the ground before her. And I need everybody to make a perception check, please.
Could not continue.
Literally 0.
Do you have a negative dex?
Yeah.
Wow.
Perception, wisdom.
Oh yeah, perception. Yeah, sorry. I was thinking that.
I was rocking a 1, and I thought I had the low end.
I got a 6.
Oh boy.
17.
I like how when we walked out here, we were all like hyper perceptive and like really on point.
And the second
And then-
danger is happening.
The second shit got dangerous, we come out and we're like, well, I'll take naps.
What'd you get, Stan?
6.
All right, so everybody but Fitzroy is gonna take 7 points of bludgeoning damage as Zorna is talking, and those motes flash like vines and tree limbs and stuff actually just like whip out from the tree and bash into all of you. And she appears very concerned.
Yeah.
And what she's gonna do is she's there's all this it's getting like noisy with the cracking of tree limbs and things. And she's like, I have to placate the guardian. She's like, and us is like, we have to protect her while she does this.
From what? All right.
You see the motes of light in the tree trunk kind of flashing angrily. Appears to be. She's like, I don't know what's wrong, but she's like the guardian. It's agitated for some reason.
I'm going to cure wounds on myself.
Okay.
But it hasn't been long enough for a rest, right?
Yeah. I mean, you guys started this as a long rest, not since you fought the crocodile, but the session.
Right. That's right. Not a short rest instead.
Okay. Especially large kitchen knives coming out, and I'll just try and swing at any vines that get too close to me.
I'll go bear form.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like,
Okay, so let's see how do I want to
Can you
this.
do a druid monk? Is that a thing?
You could.
Can you key attack? I'm sorry.
That's good. So let's roll initiative just so we can keep order on things.
6.
Okay.
5.
Okay.
10.
Wow.
It's almost
Okay.
as low as I can get.
17.
Wow.
I don't want to go first. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Okay, so you're not very first. It would be your foes.
I guess my prep would have been to hide.
Okay.
Seems like a
So-
hide situation.
So you see, around like on the edges of the grove, you see like kind of many eyes watching you. There's wind, or not wind, these limbs flailing around, and Zorna is attempting to perform this ritual here. And what you can do is, how do I want to explain this? Like, is there anything you would want to do to aid in the protection of this? Like, nothing's really attacking you right now. So is there anything that you could do to maybe help, calm this angry spirit, or, like the limbs flailing around aren't really like enemies to hit. Do you want to help with the ritual somehow?
You asking me, right?
Yeah, but basically anybody on their turn.
I guess I want to try to get. I feel like I need to start out by trying to get a sense of magically what's happening here. So I'd like to attempt an Arcana check to just try to feel the flow of energy in there.
Okay, great.
What's what? Like, I don't know if these are trees are being animated or they're part
Sure.
of a creature or what.
I love it. Make an Arcana check.
I rolled another 1. That comes out to a 5.
Well, there's definitely something magical going on here. You do see.
I'm gonna hold on, Doug.
Okay.
I'm gonna lick the ground and use my the thing that lets me reroll stuff.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna suck on a tree limb and be like, tastes like a better roll. It tastes like a 16.
Okay, so let's see. Actually, So you get you for whatever strange arcane reason, you do get a sense from the magic going on that that this is challenging.
It's a hard descriptor to come up with.
Yeah. So we'll say as you're doing this, you see part of the canopy open up, and a beam of like pale white light begins to come down. And for whatever reason, your licking of the ground here is giving you a sort of insight into that, and you shout out to Endast, who dives out of the way of this beam coming in.
Okay, so this is something everybody sees, not just like a
right, but
vision.
Right, but he's able to dive into the way and kind of intercepted it before it was able to hit Zorna. It is success. So for some reason, you get a sense of the environment from licking that thing.
I sense the flow of energy pulse through the thing.
Yes.
Something's coming.
Right. That's a good way of describing it. And then following that is going to be 5-hand stand. And as you are going, you actually see vines kind of creeping along the ground toward Zorna and Endast. Like from the ground, they're sort of like scurrying across the ground towards them.
Oh.
Okay. I see that as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what's going on at the start of your turn.
All right, I will attempt to attack them and grab them.
Okay.
So I'm going to attack, and I've got between all of my 5 hands, I'm going to try and grab a couple of them if I can.
Okay, good. Right. Okay.
However you'd like that to work.
So make an attack, and then you can make like a grappling check after.
All right,
that.
so that's a 17.
Actually, you know what?
17.
I'm gonna say you can make a dexterity saving throw to act into him.
It's gonna be like Harry Potter, trees thrown around.
Yeah. And you get a 17 on your attack roll.
Yes, and a 25 on my dex save.
Okay. So we'll say you actually you take your crossbow and you fire a bolt, and it actually pins one of them to the ground. And then with your other, you actually dive forward and grasp onto this thing, and you're it's struggling to move forward, but you are holding it back.
Okay.
Pretty successfully. And then it is Sir Cass's turn. And on your turn, you see again those flailing limbs are kind of rearing back and kind of swinging in towards Zorna, as she is desperately trying to placate this thing.
Well, empathy is not my strongest suit.
Okay.
But it doesn't seem like this is a case where attacking is a good idea, so I'm gonna kind of, I guess, attempt to interpose myself and maybe stop the blind elf from getting hit by the angry beast.
Okay. So you can make either an athletics or acrobatics check, your choice.
I have neither of these things, but I'm gonna go with acrobatics because I have dex. 12.
So you do move forward to try and interpose yourself, but you are unable to make it in time, and one of the limbs bashes into Zorna. Oops.
Nobody
And,
died.
kind of, smacks her in the side, and she kind of stumbles forward, and her efforts are disrupted a bit by taking that big hit. But she kind of starts struggling back to her feet to continue.
Can I do Whispers of the Void as a bonus action here?
Mm-hmm.
Is that applicable?
Yeah, what, on the tree?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. So yeah, you whisper a bit of void speech at this tree, which seems to, the motes actually flash even brighter in anger at hearing this unnatural speech.
But hopefully it will make it more susceptible to the calming. So that was my thought process here, and then that's turn for me.
Sure.
I'm following your thought process here. Because I was equally like, I could cast protection from good and evil on it just in case there was an outside force influencing it, but that would also make it harder for the person trying to calm it down. So I don't know. I think your solution would be
Would it?
better. Well, because it's protection from good and evil makes it so that anyone trying to influence the tree has a crappy time trying to influence a tree. And so it might be protecting it. It might also completely screw our guide from being able to save the tree. So,
Well, it protects it from a certain type of creature of your choice. Just, I mean, I'm not trying to tell you what I'm just saying.
If you knew what type of creature this could possibly be causing problems, that would be helpful.
Do you want to make a?
If it's extra planar.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Well, yeah. Actually, do you what do you get advantage? How does that work with you? I mean, I know there's some kind of skill based thing.
Well, I don't know.
What is your favorite enemy?
Oh God, I have a bunch of those. But I don't remember. I don't remember where I put them. Oh, they're all simple stuff. They're like orcs, and I was gonna say dwarves, but they're not dwarves. They're like orcs, giants, a bunch of goblinoids, like simple stuff. Like I didn't pick any like celestials.
Stuff that you never run into.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so make an Arcana check.
Okay, I rolled a 15, which is pretty good, plus 1, 16.
So you're detecting that there is a fey, kind of planar fey energy about this thing. So I mean, if you wanted to do protection from evil, that would be a good. If you want.
I think we're gonna chance it right now. We're gonna go with Simikasa's solution and hope that the increased vulnerability gives us a similar effect. I would not want to screw this up on the off chance that our guide is also Fey or that the tree is Fey. Okay.
Elves are openly Fey.
Yeah. I don't want to attack it either. Our guide got smacked and it knocked her off her center from doing what she was doing. Right? Could I like run up and heal her?
You absolutely can.
Okay, I'll do that because I really don't want to attack this thing. I think it might just be confused or something. Okay, she's gonna get 8 hit points.
Okay, and make an insight check also if it's right.
Okay. 12. Plus I get a bonus to that. Let me find my there we go. 17.
Okay, so yeah, as you do rush up, you're helping Zorna, but you kind of like get the sense from this plant-like entity that it's feeling like defensive and mistrustful with all these weapons flying around and things like that. So it kind of like gets agitated as you are near, even though you're not attacking it or anything.
Yeah, but I still probably had like one of my kitchen knives out one hand. Well, I'll stow the weapon as soon as I get that sense of it. I put the weapon away, and then Stan was actively attacking it, and probably the first person I saw like plug in shot at Vine. So I'll be like, Stan, stow your weapons. It's scared of us. Everyone, put your weapons away. Nub, we need you because you're druid. It's a tree. Hook me up.
I get like offended at that. Like, oh, it's like it's your people.
What is that supposed to mean, Fitzroy? Are all druids the same?
That would be a fun conversation to try and backpedal out of. Well, no, what I meant, no, look, I know a lot of trees.
Sure,
right?
roleplay it.
All my best friends are druids.
Yeah. I've met treants before. Needle blights.
When he says stop attacking, I just kind of look at him weird.
I'm stowing my knife.
Sure.
And healing her.
Things do seem to calm down a little bit, like its agitation subsides as you do that, and gives Zorna a chance to kind of like a pause to get back on track. and do whatever she's doing, chanting, praying, fiddling with little crude totems.
Knick-knack totem things.
Mm-hmm. And Nub Nub, it is your turn, and I need you to make a nature check.
Come on, Nub Nub. I believe in
Oh,
you.
6. I believe it is time for me to use my inspiration to re-roll that.
Okay.
Or actually, I'll use lucky. That is a 21.
So you actually you actually kind of understand the little totems and things that Zorna is doing. They're little talismans meant to kind of like that you've seen people use to like sort of placate, or not placate, but show honor to nature spirits and things like that. You're actually kind of familiar with them.
Yeah, so I explained this entire thing to the group by pointing to and going, "Wow."
Awesome. Thanks, Bear.
Go.
And actually, with a high roll like that, you would actually understand that like those are kind of like amateurish versions of those, but they're with your vast knowledge of nature and druidism, are actually aware of some more effective sort of totems like that.
So Stan turns and looks confused, less confused than he looked at Fitzroy when he said to stop attacking it, but still a little confused.
But is there anything particular that you wanted to do on your turn?
On my turn, I just interpose myself between our guide, and it's like anything gets close.
All right.
Actually, if it got close, I would just try and push it away. I wouldn't like swat. I wouldn't claw it.
Sure. And then it is this thing's turn soon.
So I guess I'm taking the dodge action.
Okay.
Like translating that.
All right. So in between all that going on, Augustus, you see the kind of canopy open up in another place, and a beam of light begin to come down at you actually, and you can make a dexterity saving throw with advantage because you were aware of what's going on.
Yeah, natural 20 on the first roll, 23.
So yeah, you just kind of roll out of the way as this like beam of light kind of like sears the damp ground where you.
Oh yeah, I dive into a puddle.
Yep. Totally, you are secure in a puddle.
Hydroplane that.
And it is actually your turn. Is there anything that you would like to do on your turn?
Well, that changes what I was going to do. Can I get a sense of where this beam's coming from? It's just coming from above? Can I see anything up there?
It's basically just like a beam of radiant light that appears to be being called down from nowhere. It's a moonbeam spell, essentially. To get technical.
Okay. It looked like it was going to hit the tree before, right? So this doesn't appear to be coming from the tree, right?
No, it appears to just be intermittently sort of being, called down from something somewhere in the sky above.
But it hasn't. It's attacked only us, right?
Yes, it just appears.
It tried to attack her,
Mm-hmm.
and then it tried to attack me.
Yes.
Okay. But she looks like she's succeeding on her widgets and.
Yeah, she stumbled for a moment, but she got back on track. And
all right, I'll do this then. I'm going to try to use deception to gain the attention of whatever's trying to. Like,
okay.
I'm trying to like get this thing focused on me. I want to make some distance between me and the rest of the party, and like go dive behind some trees and stomp through some puddles.
Sure.
While I'm doing it, I'm like, over here, look.
Okay, make a deception.
I'll intermix some like magical energy in that and act like I'm casting something big, but it's all bluster. You know what I mean?
Okay, I like it. Yeah.
Deception on that, or
sure, yeah.
23.
Do you still have healing spells?
So as you do, like you see the motes of light kind of like turn, a little bit like kind of focus, and they're sort of like following you as you go around, and it does appear distracted, which kind of calms the flailing limbs around Zorna a bit.
They can come get me.
And,
I ain't worried about tentacle monsters. My
It
best
actually-
friend's a tentacle monster.
But actually, that does work, and in the pause that it's given her, she is able to kind of complete whatever she's doing, and sort of like the vines that Stan was grasping onto sort of start to recede. The the canopy opens up a bit, and from the where'd it go? Yeah. Sorry, I lost my train of thought here.
It's okay.
Yeah, so from the tree, actually, from that hollow, a humanoid shape actually emerges. It's like a probably 6-foot humanoid, but it's made of wood. The hollow in the tree is actually where its head is. One of its arms kind of ends in like a tangled mess of roots in like a disc-like shape, while the other side kind of ends in like a gnarled mass at the end, and it kind of steps out of the tree and sort of like kneels in front of Zorna.
Back away slowly and hope that Zorna has got her A game on.
Me too.
Okay, anybody else doing anything in particular?
I will creep up behind it.
You're gonna creep up behind it? Okay. Make a stealth check.
I mean, not real close, not like arm's reach.
You're like right behind its shoulder.
I just had run
Photo
off.
bombing it.
Yeah, I'm not photo bombing it.
Okay. What? Does anybody speak Sylvan?
I don't stealth well at all.
I thought that's what you meant. Like you were trying to sneak right up on it. You mean?
Oh no, I try. I,
You
just,
wanna-
I fail.
Oh, okay.
I do not speak Sylvan.
Okay.
Nope.
All right.
Actually, let me check it. Let me check if the druids. I'm pretty sure.
There's Druidic.
Oh yeah, druidic. I think.
So you're not quite sure what they're saying, but you get the sense like this thing sort of like kneels and bows its head before Zorna, and she places a hand on its body, and there's some words exchanged, and Endos is like, I've never seen it act like this before, but he's like, Zorna is very, very close to nature, so she was able to calm this thing. And after a moment, you see the humanoid creature actually like sort of shrink, like its arms go into its body, and it kind of like becomes like a little sapling, and then kind of shrinks into the ground, leaving there's like a pile of seeds left on the ground, which Zorna scoops up.
Hey, and Dust.
Yeah.
How are we supposed to milk that thing?
He's like, oh no, this is just the shepherd of the grazing lands.
This is like an almond milk kind of deal.
He's like, there was something very, very, very wrong here. He's like, it is unfortunate that the thing has gone back to seedling.
I let him know that don't worry, we're here to help. We'll try and do what we can. But of course, I'm a bear, so I just go. Meh, and then-
Did you? I totally forgot that you turned into a bear. It's before when you were like explaining. I'm like, why isn't he just talking?
This is our
Okay,
bruiser. This is our bruiser. He went war form immediately, ready for a fight.
I think the real question here is if this was the shepherd, then what happened to the flock? Are they freaking out? Or also, what is he protecting him from? That's my concern.
Okay. Make a. Everybody make a perception check. Actually.
Come on,
Get
baby.
your question, Anthony.
11.
6.
9.
11.
21.
Okay, Stan, you're the only one that notices like there's these seeds and everything, but they in the pile of seeds it looks like a heart, like a humanoid heart,
Ugh.
that Zorna quickly like puts into a pouch, and then she collects the seeds and puts them into another small pouch.
And eats them one by one.
I looked to see if she missed any of the seeds. And if she did,
No, she did not. She got every last one.
blast.
That's not the humanoid heart, the seeds. He wants.
Well, she took the heart.
But as you're
One's right.
It wasn't a pile of hearts, and I said, "Oh, did she miss one?"
got an extra one. Y'all got one of them hearts. So as you're staying there, she's like, I'm so sorry. She's like, the Guardian has never acted like this. It's been corrupted somehow. I'm not sure how.
So I impart this image of what I saw, the pile of seeds, and the heart and her picking them up.
To everybody.
Yeah, and I go, is that how that's normally made? I thought plants grew from seeds.
Done by me.
She's actually going to give each of you one of these seeds. Which she explains as she's explaining. She's like, this was never, she's like, this guardian has been there for hundreds of years. This has never happened. She's like, I'm so sorry. I don't mean to involve you in our troubles. She's like, the grazing lands are beyond. She's like, I would like to check on them if you would please accompany me. But these seeds, she explains that if one of them is buried in soft earth, a tree will magically grow from the spot. Mechanically, it will be like a layman's tiny hut, except that instead of a immobile dome of force, it'll be like a hollow tree that can accommodate up to 9 medium creatures.
Awesome.
I dig it.
Yeah, but
just to cut this off at the pass, what happens if you try to create it in a place that it doesn't fit?
it just doesn't work, man. It's magic.
Okay.
Good answer, Doug.
Same reason a galleon can travel through space with somebody in it.
Making sure, just making sure.
I think
A wizard did it.
I don't know if I told you guys this story, how it was like someone turned into a bear and was mauling this mist to death, and then there was someone who would cast like poison spray on it, and the mist was immune to poison, and we laughed like, "Ha ha! You can't poison mist. That's just ridiculous." And the bear's like ripping the mist apart.
I like to imagine that actually Nub told that story. This one time, guys.
I was attacking things as a bear.
But as far as we know, it still sounded like.
You're like, oh, of course.
We're all just standing there going, he's really going on about this. Isn't he?
All right. Seed stashed away for a later day. And I'm more than happy to follow her in and make sure things are looking clear around the herd. I still want to make cheese.
Absolutely.
So
they want you to make that cheese.
Yeah, you're definitely going to get paid off at the end of this in a big block of some kind of real good cheese, right?
I think I will turn back into my normal form and then do healing spell on myself.
Okay.
I getcha. All right.
Okay, so yeah, as you travel beyond the Guardian's Grove, the swampland here is very. It just reeks of swamp gas and skunk musk. It's just
skunk musk.
awful. Yeah. And she's leading you on further into the thing, and she's like, their grazing lands are ahead. She's like, they're very solitary creatures, but they need to be approached with caution. And she stops and like hands each of you like darkened lenses to put on. She's like, it is dangerous to meet eyes with the creature.
I'm gonna need like 6 more of these.
She laughs slightly, and Dust has more in his pack, and he actually gives you what would you have? You need 4?
I need 8.
Well, they're like
4 pairs.
Oh yes, 4 pairs.
Yeah, so they hook you up. They will actually give you the blind condition, but it will allow you to gaze upon the creature.
Oh my.
So
She's
I'm going
like,
to take
we
one
have
of my.
learned long ago to adapt, and kind of like gestures to her eyes.
Oh,
So we
that
won't be able
explains
to
a lot.
see it.
Right.
I'm going to take a sack, poke 2 holes in it, put it over my head, and put the glasses there.
Okay.
My eyes are way too big for these glow glasses.
Okay. I was like,
Oh,
what is going on?
Right. All right, so they will lead you ahead, and let's see, you're totally blind. So you're going you're being led by them by scent and or they're leading on. It just reeks, and you hear like a loathsome like caterwauling, and you hear like water being displaced. You hear this like just awful like ungodly sound.
I'd say for mine, my character kind of has is kind of like looking down a little bit.
Okay.
You know how it's like if you're blind, like you can kind of look down a little bit.
Sure.
Stan's nervous, and he gives everyone the image of that dead crocodile in the water.
And for me, I might actually want to try and take a peek. Or
Okay.
something. Whatever.
Sure.
No.
So you actually do see from the muck and swamp like this kind of just loathsome creature kind of raise up out of it. It looks like a bloated buffalo with like scales and a big warthog face and like a long, thick neck that's almost like, I'm sorry, like a long, like spindly neck. And it's almost like hard for it to raise its own head up out of the water. And it just reeks like awfully here. And the first thing is I need everybody to make a Constitution saving throw.
Ho ho ho.
15.
That's my best save too.
What'd you get? 16 is the DC, by the way.
I got a 10.
Which
Did
one
I-
was it? It was a con save.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
It's the nasty one.
Yeah, I got a 15. So.
17.
Oh.
And what'd you get, Stan?
Unless we're allowed to square our numbers. I've got a 4.
Okay, so everybody but Nub Nub is considered poisoned by just this. I mean, it's the worst thing you've ever smelled in your life. I mean, it's worse than any sewer or rotting crap. I mean, it's just unworldly, terrible. And Nub Nub, in particular, as you're kind of peeking up as you see this thing like lift its head and kind of meet your gaze, I need you to make an additional Constitution saving throw.
Oh no.
Right.
Nub Nub's not gonna have eyes soon.
Lucky. Okay. So that is going to be an 11 for me.
All right, so you will take 18 necrotic damage as you feel like just the flesh on your face actually begin to like sink into your head, and just like just a wave of like washes over you.
Okay, you guys hear a whomp and a splash as I fall to the ground.
So do you remember that lasso I speed knitted earlier?
Yeah.
That would probably be a good time to use that. Blinded. Well, I can't see him. I'm not thinking about that at the moment.
Can I make my way over to the splash?
Sure.
Nub Nub, you peeked at it, didn't you, Nub Nub?
I'm unconscious, so I can't lie to you.
Dang it.
Are you at 0 hit points?
Yeah, I'm at 0. Yeah.
Okay.
What?
Heal. I'm gonna. God. Of course you peeked at it. Why wouldn't you peek at it?
How
Nub
much
Nub,
damage did you deal?
18, dude. Don't
18?
peek.
Were you hurt before?
Yeah, I was hurt before.
Oh,
I had
you,
it was a crocodile and then hurt.
I thought you healed
The
yourself.
magic has no effect.
Oh boy.
Okay, so yeah, I had gotten hurt by the crocodile. I had healed myself, but it was like I had taken like 18 damage, and then I'd healed myself a little bit.
Okay.
So, and then I gotten attacked by the vines.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I am revolted by the smell. My Nub Nub is down. I am picking him up, turning away from the creature, ripping off my goggles, and then trying to get some distance between me and the critter. That's a loss.
Okay.
I got a man down. I'm evacuating him right now. That's first course of action.
And what does everybody else do?
So we don't know what this is. We just heard something splash and people freak out.
Mm-hmm.
We're poisoned? Was that what the condition we're under?
You're considered poisoned, yeah.
What does that do? I'm sorry. I
It
don't
just
know.
gives you disadvantage on skill checks.
On skill checks?
So I would have heard Fitzroy bumbling around and going that
And
way.
yelling at Nub Nub, angrily yelling at
So-
Nub, chastising him.
I will have turned away from whatever's going on. Hopefully there's not a ton of these things everywhere that smell terrible. And I'm going to like kind of peek to see if I can see Fitzroy and what he's doing.
You see him carrying the limp body of Nub Nub.
All right, here's what I want to do, Doug.
So I'm
We're
gonna
not in-
part that to everybody else. We have a problem. Nub Nub is unconscious or being carried by Fitzroy.
I am going to. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just going to make the note that I'm over here spider vomiting in the corner.
Spider. Is that like squirts? Like.
Yeah.
Doug, I'm going to ask Moisty to point me in the right direction,
Okay.
and then I'm going to turn around and blast the area he points me in with a stinking cloud spell.
So pointing towards the loathsome beast.
Whatever the hell that thing is that I haven't seen yet. Yeah. Now, stinking cloud's real big, so I'm hoping that I can get it in it without having to aim too great with my eyes closed.
Okay, let's roll initiative. We'll do that action, and then we'll start in on that
Sure.
after that.
God.
My hope here is that stinking cloud also is obscuring, so
Mhm.
we won't be able to see it, and that's kind of what I was going for.
6, because that's how I roll.
That's how I roll.
Hey, you went first a couple of combats ago. Let's see. Stan?
16.
20.
Okay. So Stan, you, well, we'll do. I guess this is thing first. So you're doing stinking cloud in the direction of the thing. I need Moisty to make a Constitution saving.
I thought that might be the case. Oh, crap. Natural 20.
Okay, he's fine. He's like, I'm almost as stinky as this thing.
I wish it just had tremor sense, because I don't like that he has eyes, but
So yeah, you can place it so it would get this thing and not reach up to where you guys are. So let's see how.
yeah, obviously I'm not trying to hit. I
Right.
mean, maybe not so obviously, but I'm not trying to hit.
Right. So it starts its turn. It must make a con saving throw and spend its action retching and reeling.
Ooh.
Sometimes you gotta fight Stinky with Stinky. That's what my mom used to say.
All right. So there is a large stinking cloud over this thing. Stan, it is your turn.
I'm going to join Fitzroy,
Okay.
and I will take out a healing potion I have,
Mhm.
and I'm going to try and stuff it in Nub Nub's face, because obviously there was an issue.
All right.
Now
So
he's
yeah,
drowning.
you pour it in. It just kind of like pools in his mouth, dribbling out the side
All right.
without going down.
I'm like trying to make him swallow it.
Make a
doesn't-
medicine check.
Do I do that with disadvantage because I don't even know what these creatures need to do to swallow? I mean, the mammals.
No, you've seen people eat and drink
Okay.
enough.
It goes in the mouth. It's just like stuffing it down a hole. Like as long as it goes down, you're fine.
Oh man, talk dirty to me.
I rolled a 13, so yeah, I got a 13.
So yeah, I mean, you by all account, it's like, well, I've put healing potions in people's mouths before, but as you do, like, you're just kind of like flapping his head around and stuff, and you get the sense that he is dead.
Oh snap!
So
Sir? Oh, go ahead.
I turned to Fitzroy and put a hand on him to like stop him from running around,
Mhm.
and I give an image of like carcasses and other
X-eyes.
things, and like Nub Nub laying on the ground and leaves covering him and stuff like that, and trees growing up, and
I'm going to tell Stan, I don't like the imagery in my head right now. Stan, stop freaking me out and go help everybody else, please.
So was that to everybody, Stan?
just
Fitzroy?
I'll do it to everybody.
I send a small message in there.
Spider vomiting in the corner.
Don't leave his stick. Grab his stick.
That red stick.
Too soon. Even for 5-man stand, it's too soon.
That's never too soon.
Now, Sir Cass, it is your turn next.
No, retching intensifies. I'm actually trying not to retch in real life because somebody mentioned cheese curds in the chat, and I'm like,
All right.
like I'm currently empathetically smelling rotten milk and rot smell. I can't.
So it is the DM's turn, and what do you call it? Zorna kind of like gasps and rushes over towards Stan and Fitzroy as well, and she's like, she's like, why did he take the lenses off? She's like, kind of like examining Nubnub's body for a moment, and she asks, and she just kind of says like, diamond, and like puts her hand out.
Diamond?
Like to you, Stan.
Oh, she's looking at me.
Well, she's putting her hand right by you. She's like,
Oh, okay. I start handing different size gemstones to her.
okay. And you see she's like kind of like feeling them and just like throwing them over her shoulder into the swamp, and they're like bloop, bloop, bloop. And then she finds one and she like puts it in her hands and begins praying over Nub.
Nate, delete 1d6 worth of treasure from here.
She touches his forehead, and Nub, you gasp to life with 1 hit point.
Your mouth is full of really gross. Wormy,
You have, like, the remains.
I do swallow some of the stuff that's in my mouth.
Yeah.
But I'm like, did I just die?
She's like, you did briefly travel to the lands beyond.
Oh God! All right. Well, if Nubnub's
And I say like, I'm so sorry. I was just curious.
Okay.
I gotta put something for chat just so they don't think Nub has plot armor, because that is legitimately on her spell list. Once. I was like, oh, okay.
You're just tying it back into to Stan getting that gem earlier, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just letting you know, if he had died, it would have been fine. But I mean, this works too.
No, yeah. I was prepared for that.
I wouldn't have let you die with that.
Like anybody's gonna die.
I would have thrown out. I was ready for a full argument. I was not going to let you die. He will live.
Now, it is the rest of the NPC's turn as well.
So when
First thing, go ahead.
after that miracle of spell happens, I
Mhm.
tap her on the shoulder for my gemstone back.
Oh, she'll hand it back to you.
No, it's gone.
The stinking cloud thing first, so it has to make a con save. There was your DC, Anthony.
Oh, my DC. Oh shit.
It's probably like
15.
con save, which it failed.
Nice.
So you hear like along with its like baleful mourn, it's actually just like.
Don't mess with the maestro.
And for his part, Endust, what's he got? I haven't looked at these stat blocks for a while. Has he got anything fun? He does. He's gonna go up and he actually puts a hand out and starts muttering words, and you hear like there's the retching and baleful mourning, and then kind of like gets slower and groggier and calmer, and then it stops. And the next up we have Augustus. It is your turn. And us, you hear him? He's just like, "While the beast is placid, he's like, now's your chance." And he kind of like holds out a bucket for you.
Now's my chance. Okay. I take my glasses off and grab
Okay.
the bucket.
He's like, "Still don't look at it in the face.
I'll
It's
do the
like,
deed.
only the teeth."
The teats. How many?
All right, go for it, man. Make an animal handling check.
All right, I'll creep up on it.
Sure.
Opposite of women rules.
What's that? Is that an offensive term?
Opposite of women rules.
I get my hands nice and warm and greased up.
Sure. You walk into the stinking cloud.
I roll a 1. I roll a 1 to
All
milk
right.
this thing.
To milk the Catoblepus. It's a Catoblepus, by the way.
Hands, yeah, I know it's Catoblepus. Hands go in the wrong places.
Yeah, so this thing, was being calmed by Endos, and all of a sudden it's like, "Roar!" And just like, bucks up. You need to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh.
It might be the weirdest place to enact a rule I have that says that I can fit into smaller holes and openings than a creature of my size should
Do you want to fit into the udder?
to?
We have like a fantastic voyage.
I'm just saying he'd make a good proctologist.
Yeah.
What did you want? What did I say?
Dexterity saving throw.
Oh, that's not a good one, but I rolled good. That's an 18.
Okay, so yeah, you managed to like slime your way out of the way as it just kind of like bucks up and kind of like is whipping its warthoggy like head about, and kicks the bucket away as well. Fitzroy, it is your turn.
Crap.
You got a barely alive Nub in your arms, looking up at you.
Well, unless he
Thank
wants to Goodberry, I burned both my heals, so the Goodberry's all I have left. It takes forever to get 10 hit points out of these because it takes an action to eat one. But I'm gonna plop Goodberries, like a batch of Goodberries and Nub right on his belly, just eat.
Nice.
Okay.
And then I guess I'm goggling up and turning back towards my source of milk.
Okay.
Before he does that, I would touch him and then give him protection from poison.
Okay.
What? I love
Yeah,
you.
you are
Wait,
no
so
longer
weakly.
poisoned.
Nub.
That's true. I probably should have made a save against my own poison cloud, right? I mean,
No,
I'm
that's
already
when you
poi-
start.
I'm already
That's when you,
poisoned, so.
that's when you start your turn there.
Oh, okay.
All right, so Fitzroy, yeah, you see Augustus kind of like jumping out of the way of this bucking Catoblepus within a spark cloud. The bucket to milk it is nearby. What would you like to do? You want to try to milk it while it's not calm? Whatever. It's up to you, man.
Everyone likes cheese until they know how it gets made.
That's right. It's a commentary on food production.
I'm charging in for live action milking.
All right. So first thing I'm gonna have you do is make a dexterity saving throw to kind of dart in there and grab the bucket, and kind of like,
Oh, I have a horrible feeling because I rolled well on my first roll. That is terrible news. Okay, plus 5, 24.
oh yeah, man, you dart forward, pick up the bucket on the way, and kind of, and I need you to make an acrobatics check.
Oh god, this is gonna suck. It's only gonna get worse, folks. No, 17.
All right, yeah, and you kind of like forward roll, and you're like actually underneath the Catoblepus. Its udders right in your face, right about. You've got the bucket. You're dodging its hooves as it's going around. So make an animal handling check.
This is it, Fitzroy. It's your calling.
The moment.
Action milking.
Subclass Ranger Milkmaid.
12?
All right, you actually, because of the closeness of it, and like, I mean, the udders are like right in, just dangling in your face, and you're just like, and you just start
All on your. Oh, it's like.
Okay.
Yeah, some of it's going in the bucket, some of it is on you, but you are milking the Catoblepus successfully.
What's that music video where she pulls the water from above?
So Circus, what would you like to do as you're over there convulsing? You see what has gone on. You see Fitzroy dive under the thing and heroically start milking the kid.
Do I see this? Because last time I were wearing the okay.
Oh, well that's true. Yeah, you would have had the goggles on, all 8 sets.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you've just heard all this.
hear
You've heard the cries, the all the splashing. Maybe you hear Augustus like, he's milking it. He's really milking it.
You know what? I don't know what just happened, but I don't really care. I'm gonna just back up and
Get out of there. That's not working.
I mean, like, I have never been done with the antics you guys get up to before, but at this moment, Circus is done.
Okay.
This worse than the ball of eyeballs.
See, this is much worse
Oh.
than the eyeballs. The eyeballs didn't gross me
I like
out.
that the arachnoid person is the most grossed out by the strange.
Right.
Oh, well, we don't milk. Like, this
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
a mammalian thing. I've never understood it. It's disgusting. I don't.
All the bodily fluids everywhere and
Fair
the
point.
smells. It's enough. That's enough.
Does it
All
come
right.
out pre-soured?
Yes,
Okay.
it's horribly. I mean,
Oh,
it's like that cheese.
This is literally just trying to make Megan puke at this point.
No, it's
That's
happening.
what we're going
I'm
for.
trying
Got
to
3
get
episodes
off
left.
the
We need an
screen.
on-screen vomit. So it is the NPC's turn, and it is starting in the stinking clouds. So it's got to make its con save, which it made. So that means it does not need to spend its turn retching and reeling. And instead, its long neck will kind of like snake down around between its legs and look at Fitzroy. So I need you to make a DC 16
Oh,
Constitution.
snap.
Crap. This is what I get.
I think you have advantage against poison. Let me just double check.
This isn't poison.
Okay, never mind.
This isn't poison. This is death.
Necrotic
Right.
death eyes.
+1.
What'd you get?
What was the DC?
16.
I did not get a 16.
You're gonna take 36 necrotic damage.
Damn.
You sure you don't want to do some inspiration there, Fitzroy?
Are you dead?
No, I have 3 hit points.
So yeah, man, as you're milking this thing for all you're worth, you feel its just ratting gaze kind of like wash over you, and like the flesh just begins to necrotic around your eyes where you saw its awful face. But you continue milking it. And Augustus, it is your turn.
I'm gonna
If
try
you-
to help him milk.
Okay.
I'll stand in the way of Fitzroy, my brave captain, and block his vision of this creature.
All right. Make a.
I use my vast bulk to block his line of sight.
All right. I'm gonna give you inspiration for that, and also you can. What does it say? So you're just kind of like taking its attention while he milks.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
He
Okay.
seems better at it than I did.
Make an intimidation check.
Intimidation check?
Yeah.
Little roly-poly guy.
Ha! I got an 8.
All right. It's it just kind of it notices you, but it doesn't seem overly captured by your antics.
That's fine.
All right, Fitzroy. It's down to this. I need one last animal handling check from you.
Oh please. Well, this is gonna be. Can you see the nerves? Can you hear the nerves in my voice?
You're good to the last drop, Fitzroy.
17 to 19.
Yep, and you know, I imagine you probably have some, knowledge of animals and the milking of them, and you get to the point where like your bucket is full, the thing is spent, and you roll your way out of there. As you do, Endos kind of like completes, or intensifies whatever he was doing to calm this beast, and it sort of just like calms down its nerves as the stinking cloud sort of dissipates in the fetid swamp air, and the thing just kind of becomes docile and sort of like sinks back down into the muck.
Oh my
I
god.
was about to put my bucket on its head and be like, if it works like a cat, we should have a couple seconds.
So yeah, you have a bucket full of Catoblepus milk.
Piss
I have
milk,
no
yeah.
self-control. I drink some of it on the way out of there.
Oh!
I have to. I'm a chef. I need to know
Yes,
this tastes
absolutely.
You
Sure.
would.
And it is horrifying in taste, but you can like almost detect through your senses, like I could see where like if you did this right, and the cheese making process, you're like yeah, I could see these people are skilled at what they refine this to be.
Somewhere through the transcendental, like, filter your mind goes through, you sense a flavor in there.
Yeah, you're like, all right, I see what they're doing.
All right, I tasted the milk, and I am making as hasty a retreat as possible. If Nub Nub is not on his feet, I've got milk.
I'm up.
Okay.
I have the good berries.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's just sitting there watching.
I hand the loopy part of the lasso to Stan, and I'm going to trust him to guide me out of the swamp because I'm not.
So gross.
I'll take the lasso, but then I am still looking for my gems that were thrown in the water.
Make a perception check.
15.
So you spot one like that you had particularly, enjoyed in your collection. And it's like resting right on the top of like a meniscus of swamp gas, and you can try to make a dexterity saving throw to grab it.
Oh no. 17.
All right, actually you do is like you see like the meniscus is just about to break, and you just like dart out a hand and you're able to grab it before it bloop. But you see a few more like elsewhere that are just like bloop 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 and kind of sink into the muck. But you got that one that you spotted.
We don't have a dead nub.
No, you don't.
That's correct.
Just
And,
a couple of gems.
And the beasts seem to have calmed down after, whatever had happened with the Woodwoad Guardian.
Okay.
So yeah, Zorna and Endos, they do lead you back to the downward view fromagerie, where they will kind of walk you through the cheese making process with their own milk if you like. And it's obviously not gonna, that milk is not gonna be cheese immediately, but they can kind of show you the techniques they use.
Anybody got any more healing magic? If they don't, that's okay. I'll just
Okay.
watch them make the cheese.
I will.
3 hit points.
Yeah, that you could rest up and things like that too.
Yeah. I'll cure wounds on you.
Oh, thank you, sir.
3rd level. So
Oh, yeah. Deliciosity. All right, great.
that's going to be 11 hit points.
Woo! Up to 14. I'm a beast.
You just need a hot broth, sir. Get some meat on them bones. Or
Just get rid of those
or
bones.
get rid of the bones and just replace them with meat would be my suggestion. But either way.
Gross.
So yeah, you're able to participate and learn some of their techniques, and eventually your excursion here is done. You can get back on Illrigger if you like. Lorne, reminds you that like you dropped off Bruce at Apathia's Haven. He's like, have any of you guys ever been there before? I mean, you dropped him off, so you saw it. It was like kind of like the Las Vegas of the Crystal Spheres. It was like a big glitzy resort town on the back of this giant space whale. He's like, I've been carting you guys around for like, oh boy, a couple months now through the verse. He's like, he's just like, I had Krex check your itinerary, and he's like, no, you got some time. He's like, why don't you stop and enjoy that Apathia's Haven? He's like, I don't think you're on the clock for anything.
Okay, that sounds good.
I want to make sure that we got the tail of that gator. Was I believe what our final consensus
I
was?
took like a chunk of it because if it's a giant.
Yeah,
gator-
the tail's probably like 10 feet long. And like,
Sure,
I got
sure.
a meaty bit out of the. Yeah.
I was hoping to get enough that we could make like some fine shoes out of them or something like that.
yeah, you could have passed it on the way back. I mean,
Yeah.
I was just thinking about the tail meat.
I mean, yeah, tell me too. But
Delicious.
anybody have cobbler's tools?
No.
Do you want to try to fashion a pair of alligator skin shoes on your own, Augustus?
Probably get that in the Vegas of.
I know they've got to have alligator skin shoes there, right?
Or
I
cobbler's
think I know
tools.
my limits. So I'll probably take some bad attempts, but then just try to save some hide, basically.
Yeah, there was a craftsperson on the ship named Elamir. Maybe he could help you out with that.
Okay.
Pretty crafty.
I think a cloak would be kind of
Why
cool.
buy your own alligator shoe or buy alligator skin?
I was hoping to get the
You can
whole thing so I can make a pointy hat out of the tip of it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You can make a whole outfit out of alligator skin if you like. Yeah. Big pimpin'.
And we also
Get
got
a big feather in your hat.
I'm assuming a roll of this fromage de mort.
I purchased one. I
Oh.
did, yeah.
After all that, we got to get a wheel out of it at
You
least.
can make alligator skin platform shoes with little terrariums on the bottom that have little alligators.
So while these people are gathering the tail of this alligator, can I get its teeth?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Okay, I want to like string the teeth along on like a spider silk necklace and then
Okay.
give it to Stan, like to kind of compensate for the fact that he just lost a bunch of gems, and I know he's probably like I know how he likes his trinkets.
Of course she would go for the teeth, and I shiver. Ugh.
Thank you, Sir Cass. Thank you. And
Teeth are gonna be like
I look
this.
at it and I put it in my where some of my gemstones were, like tuck it away.
I think you'd probably make it into like 20 daggers.
True. All right, so yeah, is there anything else anybody wanted to do back on the ship as you head towards a Kindori space whale resort town to pick up your manted friend? See what's up.
I can't think of anything.
All right, so I guess we'll pick up there next week as you travel to Apathia's Haven.
I grabbed some more samples on the way out.
Yeah, they don't seem to mind. They have plenty of cheese on hand. All right, so we'll wrap up there. Thanks everybody that was watching and anybody that watched later, and thanks especially to this awesome group of players for indulging my insane fantasies as they travel the culinary reaches of the Crystal Sphereverse. And until next week, stay nerdy. Oh, and you can all level up too.
Awesome.
guys.
Oh, hey!
Thanks for DMing, Doug. It was great.
Yes, thank you.
All right.